Lesson 8, Hardware Configuration. In this lesson, we'll discuss about setting the hardware configuration, that is the setting of printer settings in advance, so that every time you take a printout of the bill, invoice or any report, you do not need to specify the printer settings. Basically, you can define the default printer settings using the hardware configuration settings. To configure hardware configuration, you need to go to Administration, Configuration, Hardware Configuration option. On clicking the Hardware Configuration option, Hardware Configuration for the user admin window is appearing. This is because we are currently logged in with the admin user, so here we are specifying these settings for the user admin. Similarly, you can specify this setting for each and every user. First option is default printer driver. By default, the printer as specified as default printer under control panel settings will appear here. You can select any printer as per your requirement. Page length in inches. You need to specify the page length. If you do not want to specify the page length, you can leave it as 0. By specifying 0 in this field, printer will automatically detect the page length. Then is lines per page normal and lines per page landscape. In these data fields, you will specify the lines to be printed per page in case of portrait orientation and in case of landscape orientation. Next is printing style, that is DOS or Windows. Generally now printing is done in Windows mode. If you want to select DOS mode, you can select the DOS option. On selecting the DOS option, you need to specify the DOS emulation. We would like to mention here is that if the printer that you are using is not in the list, then you can select the printer which is nearest to the printer shown in the list in characteristics. That is the printer whose characteristics are most nearest to the printer as shown in the list. You can select that printer. For example, if you have dot matrix Wipro printer, then you can select Epson option here. Next, always create spool file. Specify Y in this data field to create a spool file, and next specify the path where spool file is to be created and the name for the spool file. That is, name of the spool file will be the report title or the current date and time, that is the date and time at which you are printing the report. Next, if we select the printing style as Windows, then you can see various options are appearing. Paper top margin, paper left margin. In both these data fields, you need to specify the left and top margin for the paper, that is how much margin you need to leave from the left side and the top side. Next is shrinking to percentage, normal and landscape. Here you will specify the percentage on which the printing will be shrunk. Basically, it allows you to scale the document. You do not need to adjust the margins here. You simply specify the percentage by which the documents will be shrunk. You can specify the percentage from 90 to 100, that is document will be shrink in between 90 to 100%. Click save button to save this configuration. Now we have entered a sales bill, and when to the printing of this sales invoice, you can view on the screen that the default printer settings specified in the hardware configuration are appearing. If you want, you can change these settings also. So it is a very good way of defining the printer settings in advance. Hope after going through this presentation, you would be able to easily set the hardware configuration. At the end of the chapter, certain exercises provided. You can view it on the screen. Thanks for watching. For more videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel.